Why is she back? Why is she back? Did I not save? Oh, crap. There we go. That's much better. Welcome back. So we are gonna conquer. What's gonna hurt my voice? I'm probably only gonna do like an hour, if anything, on this. I don't think I can do 2 hours straight through. I think I'm gonna kill my voice doing that. I mean, it's not really, it's more my problem. It's gonna look like I did it all in one go anyway. I'm just telling myself, mostly. Um, let's Tsubakiko, let's go. And as always, when it's the narrator, I'm just gonna do my normal voice, whoever it is. Yeah. It happened long ago when I was still a kid in kindergarten. Just like every other little girl my age, I was a proper lady. For me, playing house is a perfect recital of when I'd someday be a housewife too. I tried acting even cuter than normal when I was in front of the boys. Oh yeah. I'd even get in trouble for playing with mom's makeup and cookware sometimes too. I didn't mean any harm, of course. Making sure my okay, yeah, that's good. Because I was dead serious about my dream even back then. Become the perfect wife. Aw.
はいはい。先生はお父さんの役ね。ただいま。
Okay, I'll play the dad. I'm home.
あなた、おかえりなさい。
Welcome home, honey. Actually, welcome. Welcome home, honey.
お風呂にする？ご飯にする？
Do you like a bath or dinner first?
じゃあお風呂からにしようかな。
I guess I'll start with a bath.
お風呂沸いてますよ。背中流してあげるね。
I'll put it on right now. Let me wash your back.
あら嬉しい。先生もTsubakikoちゃんみたいなお嫁さん欲しいな。
Oh, you're so kind. I wish I had a wife like you, Tsubakiko. Even when Tanabata came around, my wish was the same. I want to be the perfect wife. But I was a kid. I never thought about it much deeper than that. I wanted to be a wife, but I never even considered what I need to marry someone if that happened. Yeah, that's kind of what you have to do to be someone's wife. You have to get married. Pretty stupid, huh? That's like the first thing you're supposed to think of.
お嫁さんになりたかったら男の子と喧嘩しちゃダメだぞ。
You can't begin to fight with boys if you want to be the perfect wife.
でもマー君、Tsubakikoのスカートめくったんだよ。
Mom, let my skirt up.
それにしても女の子がドロップキックをかますのはな。
I understand that, but it's not very ladylike to dropkick someone. I barely remember it, but apparently I kicked a boy so hard he smashed his head into the edge of a locker, sending him to the hospital. At that age? With little play balls? Personally, I thought it was a suitable price to pay for trying to steal a glance at my panties. I wanted to be a wife, and yet I'd constantly be picking fights with boys back in kindergarten.
だからあなた、乱暴な漫画はTsubakikoの手の届くところに置かないでって言ったでしょ?
See, honey? This is why I'm telling you not to leave all that violent manga lying around where Tsubakiko can find it.
いいTsubakiko。お父さんの漫画は真似しちゃいけない乱暴な漫画なのよ。
Listen, Tsubakiko. You mustn't imitate all those things you see in your father's manga.
素敵なお嫁さんになりたかったら、優しい女の子にならなくちゃ。
If you
乱暴はダメよ。
If you want to be the perfect wife, you need to be kind and gentle, girl. Violence is bad.
パパにもドロップキックとか円髄蹴りとかシャイニングウィザードとかもうやっちゃダメだぞ。
Which means no more drop kicks, roundhouse kicks, and shining wizards on me either, okay?
第一な、 お嫁さんというのは男の子に嫌われたらなれないんだぞ。
After all, how do you expect to be the wife if none of the boys like you?
Those words were such a shock to me. I never realized you needed a boy's approval before you could be a wife. Have a girl's approval?
これからはもう少し女の子らしくしなくっちゃね。
You need to try to be more ladylike, okay?
男の子とも仲良くしなさい。そうしたらきっと素敵なお嫁さんになれるぞ。
Get along with the boys. Do that, I'm certain you'll make a wonderful wife someday.
じゃあ
No.
私これからはもう喧嘩しない。優しい女の子になる。
I won't fight anymore. I'll be a kind and gentle girl.
グッドモーニングモーニング。朝だよ。
Guten Morgen. Rise and shine. Tsubakiko opened the curtains with a whoosh. The sun's warm rays bathed the room in their light.
ほらスズム、いつまで寝てるの？お寝坊さん。
Suzumu, wake up, sleepyhead.
何事？
What's going on?
朝なの、朝。
It's morning.
男子ってこういうシチュエーション大好きなんでしょ？
I thought boys love this kind of thing.
もっと喜んでくれてもいいのに。
Please, you could at least pretend to be happy. Most people would see this as a standard girl next door romantic comedy act in which the two of them dead in an envious rage. But Suzumu was normally quite the early bird. In contrast, Tsubakiko was a real night owl. Even when she went to bed, she spent 30 minutes squirming about playing Wanya Dora, not wanting to waste her MP. Wanadora was a free-to-play mobile puzzle game, constantly being pushed in commercials and ads all over. As such, it had taken her a few days before she could adjust to waking up Suzumu each morning, like his future wife might.
ずいぶん久しぶりだね。キコちゃんに起こしてもらうのは。
It's been a while since you woke me up, hasn't it?
起こしてくれてありがとう。
Thank you.
それでね、スズム、朝ごはん作ってみたんだけど。
But that's not all. I made breakfast for you, too.
それは嬉しいな。
Really? That's so nice of you.
でも珍しいね。どうしたの？急に。
It's not every day I get treated so nicely. What's the occasion? Last night, she had a dream that brought back all sorts of memories. To her innocent kindergarten days when she'd sworn to become the perfect wife. The memory was so pure and exciting that before she knew it, she'd woken up at the crack of dawn. Thus, she made a spur-of-the-moment decision to make breakfast for Suzumu. Despite that, he was as composed as ever. Though a girl his age had used her spare key to sneak into his room, he wasn't the least bit shaken. Tsubakiko brought the food from her own apartment on a tray. The hallway was rich with a scent of cooking. She must have cooked in her room. She struggled to make her way through the door while her hands were occupied with carrying the tray.
無理に運ばないで、キコちゃんの部屋で食べてもいいのに。
I don't have to go all your way to bring it over. We could have had it at your place.
乙女の部屋は男子は立ち入り禁止なの。
No way! Boys can't just barge into a lady's room like that.
僕の部屋には勝手に入ってくるのに。
You barge into my room just fine, though.
いいでしょ？私たち親戚同士なんだから。
That's different. We're related, so it's a locked door between the two of us. I mean...
なんかおかしい気がするけど、気のせいかな。
Something feels off about that, but maybe it's just me?
気のせい、気のせい。さ、召し上がれ。
Yep, it's just you. Now come on, eat it while it's hot. White rice, miso soup, seasoned seaweed, stir-fried spinach, bacon, and eggs. Old. The kind of breakfast you'd see in any average household. Oh, okay. That's normal.
ご飯おいしいね。
This rice is good.
他には？
What about the rest?
お味噌汁もおいしいよ。キコちゃんはお料理上手だね。
Miso soup's tasty too. You sure are a good cook, Kiko.
他には？
What about the rest?
ほうれん草もおいしいよ。僕好きなんだ。
Stir-fried spinach is really nice. I like it a lot.
他には他には
What about the rest? What about the rest?
ベーコンエッグも念入りに火が通ってて美味しいと思うよ。
I can tell you really took your time with the bacon and eggs. I think it's good.
ちゃんと火通さないと危ないからね。特に気をつけたの。
You're really sick if you don't cook it, right? So I made sure to cook him through and through.
うん、美味しいよ。こんなにバリッとおせんべいみたいに食べられるベーコンエッグなんて初めてかな。
Yeah, it's good. I've never had such crunchy bacon eggs before. It's like I'm eating a cracker.
そう？
Wait,
今流行
crunchy
りの焼
eggs?
き方なの知らないの？遅れてる。Really?
That's the new cooking trend these days. You haven't heard of crunchy bacon and eggs? Oh boy. Someone's really real far behind the times. Tsubakiko made hasty excuses with a blush. Suzumu chuckled at the sight. Anyone could tell from her glance that she'd overcooked the bacon and eggs. A little. No, scratch that. A lot. In actuality, Tsubakiko had borrowed the rice, miso soup, and spinach from her mother. In other words, all she actually cooked were bacon and eggs. She screwed that up. Her room currently reeked of smoke. She'd actually wanted to make more than that. But the disaster with the bacon and eggs had shattered her spirit.
お嫁さんって大変だね。
Must be tough to be a housewife.
どうして？
Why's that?
毎日旦那様より早起きして朝ごはん作るんでしょ？
Well, they have to get up before their husbands and make breakfast every morning, right?
こんな朝ごはん一つ作るだけで青息と息なんて全然だよね。
They just did it once. Stressful enough. It's crazy.
でもキコちゃんはこうして作ってくれたよ。僕はとっても嬉しいし、
But I'm really happy you did this for me.
きっと未来の旦那さんも喜んでくれると思うな。
I'm sure whoever you marry will be thrilled too.
進は嬉しい？
Would you be happy?
嬉しいよ。
Worse.
こんな情けないベーコンエッグを作るお嫁さんでも？
Even if your wife couldn't cook bacon and eggs to save her life?
僕のためを思って作ってくれたものならすごく嬉しいよ。
I'm not a cook. I can at least make a fried egg. That's pretty bad. Anyway. I'd be overjoyed just knowing she tried her best for me.
そんな朝ごはんを毎日食べられたら毎日仕事を頑張れると思うよ。
I believe I could find the strength to go to work each day with breakfast like these.
だからキコちゃんの未来のお婿さんはきっと幸せだと思うよ。
So I'm sure that whoever you marry will be a very lucky man. His words warmed Tsubakiko's heart. If her married life were anything like this, she felt she could take on the whole world. And if Suzumu were her husband, she believed she would do anything, or she could do anything. Thus, she swore to keep up her training, so she could someday be the perfect housewife.
花嫁修行に付き合ってくれてありがとう。
Thank you for helping me with my training.
素敵なお嫁さんになりたいからその
I'm trying my best to become a wonderful wife.
僕でよければいつでも協力するよ。
Well, if you think I'm a good enough candidate, I'll gladly help with whatever you need.
ありがとうサンキューだよ
Thank you. So much, Dayo. Tsubakiko was bursting with joy. And so the two of them ate their crispy bacon and eggs like your average newlywed couple. Okay. By the way, let me show you something. See if I can. I was doing this earlier and it scared the crap out of me. I thought someone was banging on my window. Anyway. I almost always rode my bike to school. But when Suzumu and I were both riding our bikes, it felt like we were taking a nice romantic trip together. The early bird gets the worm, so they say, and that's precisely how I felt. I was in such a good mood today. I felt like I was one step closer to becoming the perfect wife. I was on top of the world. Everything was going so well. Until the Fire Nation attacked. So why'd I have to go south? So this is tough. So when she goes in these modes, she has like a deeper voice. I guess I'll just use my actual voice. Yeah, I guess that's the way I can do it. You want to get slaughtered, punks? Huh? I don't think I did this in the past. That's okay. I'll do it now. You just can't get enough, can ya? A group of delinquents laid sprawled out on the ground before springing up and groveling on their knees. We're so sorry. We didn't know you're Bakiko of the Bloodstained Angels. The next time any of you shows your sorry face around Suzu High, I'll fucking slaughter you, no questions asked, you hear? Eek, forgive us. Kiko sure is strong. Ah, sorry, hit the mic. Well, yeah, you know, before all this, she was... Normally I'd slug Atsuda right in the gut to keep him from yapping about my past. But I wouldn't be fooling anyone after that horrendous display just now. Okay, I should probably back up and give some context here. Suzumu and I met with Atsuda at the Iwamoto shopping district this morning. After that, we saw some idiots trying to bully one of the guys from our school. But after I politely asked them to cut it out, they said some choice words that would invoke any lady's wrath. I couldn't remember a thing after that. Next thing I knew, I was here. And with that, my dream went up in flames. Now Suzumu knew of my dark and sordid past. Things were really awkward between us that day. More accurately, I just didn't know how to approach him after that. So I simply kept avoiding him at every turn, though I knew I couldn't keep it up forever. However, patient Suzumu might be, even he had his limits. So when school ended for the day, he grabbed me by the arm. Kiko, are you still bothered by this morning? Of course, you were the last guy I wanted to know my secret. Yeah, right. Like, he'd even believe me saying something that ladylike at this point. Why me?
I guess it's too late to play the cute little angel at this point, huh? Stupid me.
I thought you were pretty cool, actually.
Huh?
Most people from our school just ignored what was happening to him, even though it was obvious he was suffering. You had the courage to speak out against it. Plus, you didn't even know that guy, right? But honestly, that makes you even cooler in my eyes.
You really think so?
Yeah, those bullies were screaming in your face, yet you didn't even bat an eye.
Right.
It was more like I lost my shit and gave in to Satsui no Haido, though. But apparently, it looked like I was totally in control from behind. Anyway, I was glad he was proud of me for standing up for that guy. But that didn't excuse the slaughter that followed. I thought that was pretty cool, too.
普段はおしとやかでも、言うべき時、やるべき時はやるって女性。好きだから。
I like girls who normally modest, but step up to the plate and do that what's right when the chips are down.
Really?
Yeah. I never would have expected to find out someone who's a type like this. Did I just trip a romance flag without even trying to? Was I seriously that lucky?
むしろ、情けないのは僕だよ。
Actually, I feel like I'm the one who messed up there.
ああいう時
Like a
は、
mosquito
男
bite
の
or
僕
something.
が率先して出るべきだったの。
And I keep itching it,
ついぼん
sorry.
やりしてしまって。
Ah! Okay. Guys like me are supposed to take the lead at times like that. I fell completely
僕
behind.
がしっかりしていれば、キコちゃんが体を張る必要もなかったし、
You wouldn't have needed to push yourself. I just had my head on straight.
何より、そうして一日気にすることもなかっただろうし、
But more importantly, you wouldn't have had to worry about all day either.
それを申し訳ないと思ったことと、かっこよかったよってこと。どうしても伝えたかったんだ。
So I really wanted to let you know how cool I thought you were, and how sorry I was.
私のこと幻滅してない？
You don't think less of me?
しないよ。
Why would I?
それどころか、もっとキコちゃんのこと、好きになったよ。
In fact, I'd say I like you even more now.
本
Wait, are you serious?
強い女性って素敵だよね。
Yeah, I think strong girls like you are really wonderful.
当に私をおだてるために適当なことを言ってんじゃないの？
You really mean that? You're not just saying that to make me feel better?
そんなわけないよ。
Of course not.
それに、僕がキコちゃんに幻滅なんてしてたら、一緒に帰ろうなんて誘うと思う？
Besides, do you really think I'd ask you to walk home with me if I felt let down by you? Point. Suzumu flashed me a serene smile, erasing any suspicions I may have had of him being insincere. The shoujo flowers. In the end, I was the only one who'd been worked up about the whole thing. Suzumu hadn't been let down a bit. Instead, I gained some serious points with him in a way I hadn't expected. It was like I'd risen from hell to heaven. And I knew I shouldn't put that cart before the horse like that. It was a bad habit of mine. Why do you keep doing that? Something's gonna happen. We stopped by a fast food joint on our way home, where I told him all sorts of tales of my edgier years. I expected him to be horrified for sure, but instead he listened with a gleam in his eyes.
かっこいいな。仲間を守るために戦うなんて本当にすごいや。
So cool. It's really noble how you fought to protect your friends like that.
僕も人のために戦えるように、もっともっと精進しなきゃ。
I need to devote myself harder and punch more trees so I can keep others safe too.
でもいくらなんでもさすがにドン引きでしょう。
But really though, does any of this ruin your image of me? It's too, right?
今でこそこんな可愛い子アピールしてるけど、かつてはとんでもなかったし。
Trying to be a cute girl nowadays, but I was a real terror back then.
かつてはかつてだよ。今がそうなわけじゃない。
It's all in the past. Things are different now.
それに、キコちゃんの武勇伝は、どれも相応の理由があっての喧嘩ばかりだったと思うよ。
Besides, I think you had good reasons to find all those stories you told me.
弱い者いじめとか、何の意味もなく暴力を振るってたとか、そういうのは一つもなかったと思うよ。
From what I can tell, it doesn't sound like you even ever picked on the weak or beat up people for no reason. Well, yeah, I was the head of the Bloodstained Angels attack unit. I would never stoop so low. We were vigilantes. We never laid a hand on the innocent. Instead, we were the kind who went around dishing out punishment to hot-headed scumbags who did sink to those levels.
ね。別にキコちゃんは恥ずかしいことをしてたわけじゃないと思うよ。
See? So I don't think you have anything to be embarrassed about.
まあ、お天道様に胸張って言えることじゃないよね。
Not exactly the sort of thing I want to pride myself on either.
今はもう卒業したんだし、もう気にしなくてもいいんじゃないかな。
You're moved on from it, so you don't have to let it bother you anymore.
人間誰にだって反抗期みたいなものはあるし。
Everyone has a rebellious phase at some point.
僕だって 親に反抗して悪いことしたことあるしさ。
And I did some pretty awful stuff to spite my parents too.
スズムが悪いことってどんな？
Wait, seriously? Like what? I stayed up past my bedtime. I don't know.
誰にも内緒だよ。
Well, don't tell anyone, okay?
内緒にするする。私とスズムだけの秘密。
Okay, my lips are sealed. They're sealed. Suzumu whispered in my ear.
本当に？スズム
What? Are you for real? You actually did that?
だから内緒だって。声が大きいよ。
Shh. Seriously. Keep it down. It's a secret.
ね。それに比べたら、ヒコちゃんのやんちゃ時代だって特別なことじゃないよ。
But see what I mean? What you did was nothing compared to that. What did you do? I couldn't help but laugh out a big deal I've been making all of this. I literally roared with laughter, and before long, Suzumu joined in. I've been worrying so much about this whole thing, but telling it all to him took such a load off my chest. I felt like I could even invite him to my room with no further reservations. We continued chatting in the dying sunlight as we walked our bikes home. In hindsight, Suzumu was probably being considerate of me in his own little way. In the end, his smile laid my heart bare. But he'd also confessed his own shameful past, so we were even. Therefore, I had no reason to be embarrassed anymore. It was like, I don't know, like we'd already crossed some sort of emotional threshold. Now that I had nothing to hide from Suzumu, I felt I could show him the real me, in its truest meaning. A girl would have to be crazy to let a guy like him out of her grasp. So I had to take him for my own. I wouldn't let anyone else have him. Never. I had nothing left to fear. I confessed to him right on the spot. That way, nobody else would ever lay a finger on him.
ねえ、スズム。
Hey, Suzumu.
何？
Yes. The two of us stopped. The shopping district was bustling with activity, yet I felt like we were all alone in the world.
さ、あのさ、茶化すのはなしで聞いてほしいんだけど。
Listen, I need to tell you something. Don't laugh, okay? I have to cough. Hold on. Okay, thank you. Oh, did I read this? I don't know. I'll do it again. Listen, I need to tell you something. Don't laugh, okay?
うん。
Okay. I faltered at the serious look he was giving me. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't lose heart. I needed to be brave. Oh no, I couldn't do it. I couldn't look him in the eye. Feel like staring at the sun. Ah! Thus, I shifted my gaze far behind him. What? I could hear children laughing and playing, but I felt like I could hear my younger self's voice among them.
ツバキコはね、素敵なお嫁さんになるの。
I'm gonna be the perfect wife when I grow up. Well, isn't that sweet? That's a lovely little dream. You can do it, Tsubakiko. I know you can. Everyone was cheering me on with a big smile. And I wasn't simply telling people about my dream. I also knew those were magic words that put smiles on people's faces. I'm gonna be the perfect wife when I grow up. Adults could smile and rustle my hair affectionately whenever I uttered that spell. It made me so happy. May all your days be filled with smiles.
どうしたの？キコちゃん。
Is something wrong, Kiko? Kiko had tried to tell me something, but then she saw something behind me and froze up like a deer in the headlights. I turned around, but all I saw were the evening crowds of the Iwamoto shopping district. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay, so now we're on his point of view. Looks like.
どうしたの？しっかり。
What's wrong? Hang in there. Kiko gripped her head and moaned. Her eyes were dazed and she was staggering. Could this be one of those hauntings Miss Hinagata told me about? She said they couldn't happen while I was around, but perhaps there were exceptions. At any rate, I couldn't leave Hiko out in the middle of the street. I parked our bikes at the side of the road and grabbed her by the shoulder.
Kiko-chan, 大丈夫? 僕がわかる?
Kiko, are you okay? It's me. Do you recognize me? She wailed as if in the midst of a nightmare. Her face is pale and clammy with sweat while her eyes were wide and unfocused. A nightmare that struck in broad daylight? This had to be a haunting. Whatever the case, I had to get her home and let her rest. Then I'd call Miss Hinagata and ask her what to do next. I draped my arms around Kiko's shoulders and hurried on home. I got a bad feeling and turned around. It felt as though something sickening was nearby, and there was nothing that fit that description in the crowd. But there was nothing. It was a feeling. After Suzumu and Tsubakiko left the shopping district, an uncanny figure hiding in the darkness of a narrow back alley wriggled about. Ew! Ew! It was disgustingly obese and gave off a rank odor, like sweat and a rancid sewer. Its small, childlike eyes that gleamed ominously. Blah, 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 blah. The man's breathing was loud and heavy. Either his nose was stuffed or he did it on purpose. Greasy sweat trickled down the tip of his nose with each fetid and foul exhalation. I finally found you.
Tsubakiko-chan. 美人になったね。
Let it be. Tsubakiko.
知ってたし。
I knew it. I just knew it. The man smiled and giggled to himself as if remembering something amusing.
すぐに迎えに行くからね。
I'll be coming for you.
そしたら今度こそ僕のお嫁さんにしてあげるからね。
And once I do, I'll make you wife. For sure this time.
Ew. Gross. Eh. I picked Kiko to bed and called Miss Hinagata immediately afterwards. Kiko wasn't suffering anymore, but she was dead tired. That was a haunting. No doubt about it.
どうすればいいんですか?
What should I do?
彼女を安全な場所に運んで横にする。で、正解よ。100点満点ね。
You were right to take her to a safe place and lie her down. Gold star.
半分眠った意識で何か危険なことをすることもあるから、意識が戻るまでそばにいてあげてね。
There have been times where they've done something dangerous while out of it like that. Stay with her until she fully regains consciousness.
危険なことって?
What do you mean by dangerous?
時に霊が自傷行為をそそのかすこともあるからね。身の回りに刃物がないかだけ確認してちょうだい。
Spirits can occasionally instigate acts of self-harm. Make sure there's nothing sharp lying around.
刃物はないですけど、危険物はだいぶ。
I don't see anything like that, but there are a lot of dangerous objects nearby. Trophies of Kiko's younger days, such as spiked bats and wooden swords, were aplenty here. They could be in trouble. Should worse come to worse, so I gathered them up, wrapped them all in a towel, and hid them away.
それにしても、鈴原くんと一緒なのに霊障にやられるなんて珍しいこともあるわね。
I gotta say though, I'm shocked someone actually had a haunting with you around.
僕に宿る覇者の力よりも強い霊に襲われたとか。
Maybe she was attacked by a spirit stronger than my power?
鈴原くんの持つ力はかなりのものよ。それを上回る霊なんてなかなかいないと思うわ。
Your power really is on a whole nother level though, so I can't imagine there are many spirits stronger than it.
ハルミヤさんが具合を悪くした時の状況がちょっとわからないけれど。
I don't know exactly what things were like when Harumiya changed.
ひょっとしたら霊障じゃなくて貧血とか他の理由によるものもあるかもしれないわね。
But maybe this is due to anemia or some other underlying issue.
でも霊障の可能性がゼロってわけじゃないですよね。
We can't rule this out as a haunting just because I was there, can we?
まあね。誰にもゼロなんて断言はできないわ。
True enough. No one can say for sure.
彼女を霊障から救うにはどうすればいいんですか？
How do I protect her if it is a haunting?
霊障は基本的に白昼夢。寝ぼけて身に危険が及ばない場所ならば放っておいても大丈夫よ。
Hauntings are basically bad daydreams. She should be fine as long as you leave her somewhere she won't hurt herself.
そのうち目が覚める。そしたらもうケロッとしているわ。
She'll wake up eventually, then things will be back to normal. I thought the situation was more dire, but Miss Hinagata made it sound like business as usual. Probably because hauntings were a regular occurrence for them. Hence why she was telling me all I had to do was stay with her until she woke up.
心配してくれてありがとうね。私たちにとってはよくあることよ。
Thank you for your concern. This happens to us all the time.
そうですか。
I see.
僕の力が弱まっているということなのかな。
Maybe this means my power is weakening?
そうなの？最近お稽古を少しサボってるとか？
You think so? Have you been slacking in your training?
いえ、そんなことはないですけど、
Oh, that's not it.
僕と一緒なのにキコちゃんを守ることができなかった。
I failed to protect Kiko when she was there with me.
それは僕の精進が不足してたからなのかなって思って。
Don't worry, that's a sign of my dedication is lacking.
ならもっともっとお稽古に勤しんでもらわないとね。
Guess that means you'll just have to keep at it.
鈴原くんはシャチホコ部の最終兵器なんだから。
You're the LCSC's ultimate weapon, after all. I sighed with relief. Things weren't as bad as they seemed. Miss Hinagata hung up after telling me to call her if anything happened. I went to go check up on Kiko only to find her wide awake. She must have woken up while I was on the phone.
どう？大丈夫？
How are you feeling? Better now? She sat up sluggishly and heaved a deep sigh. I wonder what kind of nightmare she'd had. Frustration at failing her in her time of need ate away at me.
キコちゃんは霊障にやられてたんだよ。
You were hit with a haunting.
霊障
Huh? A what? Oh, right, Miss Hinagata was the only one who really knew about them. She said the girls of the LCSC only perceive them as bad dreams.
きっと立ちくらみか何かだよ。
I think you must have had a dizzy spell or something.
体調も悪かったんだね。うなされてたんだよ。
You were in bad shape, too. You were moaning to yourself.
なされてた
Was that?
うん。
Yeah.
悪い夢を見てたんだよ。
So you must have been having a bad dream.
でももう大丈夫だよ。安心して。
But you're alright now. There's no need to worry anymore. If Miss Hinagata was correct, then Kiko is fine by this point. After all, nightmares are vivid right after you have one, but fade from memory in no time.
ごめんね。スズムが介抱してくれたんだね。
So sorry for making you worry.
こっちこそごめんね。部屋にまで入っちゃって。
No, I should be apologizing to you. I entered your room without asking. Color returned to Kiko's face rapidly, growing red as it beat.
なんでスズムが私の部屋に鍵はどうして
Why in my room? I thought I locked the door.
キコちゃんの具合が悪いみたいですっておばさんに話したら鍵を。
Your mother gave me the key when I told her you weren't feeling well.
血祭られてーか
Hey, you old hag. You want to get slaughtered?
元気が出てよかった。
Sounds like you're feeling better already.
キコちゃんの武勇伝はもう聞かせてもらってるからね。部屋に驚いたりしないよ。
I wasn't surprised when I saw this room, probably because of all the stories you told me.
いずれは見せる気でいたけど心の準備がまだなのに
I was hoping to show you eventually,
まだなのに
but not yet. This is too soon. Too soon. I could have handled that better. I need to work on my lack of tact.
じゃあ僕庭で稽古してるから。
Well, if you excuse me, I have some training to get to. I got to punch some trees.
稽古？私をほったらかして。
Training? You're gonna abandon me?
え？
Huh? What?
謝れ！土下座しろ！乙女の聖域勝手に踏み込んでごめんなさいって言え！
Apologize. Get on your knees. Say you're sorry for desecrating a lady sanctuary.
お母さんのバカ！
You big fat jerk. Kika was so worked up she wasn't even making sense anymore. But at least it seemed the haunting had subsided. Yay! I apologized as I left her room.
稽古もっと頑張らなきゃ。
I need to train harder. The more I devoted myself to my training, the stronger my power would grow. I was so sure of it. I had to work harder so that Kiko wouldn't suffer from another haunting. Oh, you're not doing too well. Tsubakiko's breathing grew labored again. Beads of sweat rose to her forehead once more. Uh-oh. She stood abruptly, rushed over the door, locked it, and put up the chain. She then ran back into the room and violently shut the curtains. Tsubakiko used so much strength that she tore off one of the latches of the curtain rail. Though the sound it made was faint, it scared the living daylights out of her. Dang. Tsubakiko clung to the curtains as she nervously gazed outside through the gap between them. All she saw was the same scenery as always, but that was enough to convince her. The room was pitch black without sunlight. But Tsubakiko threw a blanket over her head and huddled in a corner of the room, leaving the lights off. Terror and anxiety danced across her eyes. She couldn't calm down at all. Just then, she heard a frightful sound. It felt as though it were growing louder by the second. Footsteps, perhaps? It was getting closer and closer. Tsubakiko held her breath hard enough to choke herself as she crawled over the gap in the curtains. She peeked through. Oh. And discovered it was the sound of Suzumu punching the tree. Okay. He was in his dojo uniform, training more intensely than usual. It wasn't footsteps. Tsubakiko heaved a sigh of relief as she flopped down to the floor. But her face showed no sign of ease at the moment. She was a nervous wreck, frightened by the slightest sounds, peeking through the window or the door's peephole over and over again. It's here. What year is it again? She took her phone off her desk with the trembling hands. After checking what year it was, she started counting something down with her fingers. And when she finished, she fell backwards as though she fainted. What? She was lucky her bed was right there. Had she been even slightly off, she would have smashed her head on the edge of the bed. That was how hard her fall had been. She lay there frozen for so long. She started entertaining the idea she was in fact a puppet. No matter how many waves of terror assaulted her, her brain wouldn't tell her what it thought was so scary. And so she merely continued to tremble in fear without knowing the source of her fright. What is going on with her? Uh-oh. I found you.
椿子ちゃんのお家見つけた。
Tsubakiko, I know where you live. Uh-oh.
おはよう。
Well then.